بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. طيب الحمد لله we start with كتاب الحج last lesson and today inshallah we'll continue, but before we do like we normally start, we'll quickly revise. Right, we've got two people to test today, so Ammar and Muhammad Khan inshallah. Firstly, Ammar, tell me the conditions of Hajj, or the conditions that make Hajj obligatory upon a person.
Conditions are a person being Muslim and sane, mature in terms of reaching puberty, being a free person, not a slave, and having the ability in terms of financially and physically, and for a woman to have a male guardian.
If male guardian, if there's a need of safar traveling. If she's from Makkah, then no, because not traveling. Okay, and Muhammad Khan, what are the pillars of Hajj?
The pillars of Hajj are four. So that's the having the niyyah, the intention, and also doing the sa'i bayna Safa wal Marwa. Also doing the tawaf after Arafah, tawaf ziyarah, I think it was called. And the last one is the last one is staying in Arafah.
No. Good. Just two things. Firstly, don't say niyyah for the first one. Say ihram. It's called ihram. Because
Yeah.
it's a place that you got to do it from, and as we're gonna get to the wajibat, you should be wearing the clothing for it as well. And the mention in order. Don't mention sa'i. Sa'i comes later. Say al-wuquf bi Arafah first. Then say tawaf, al-ziyarah, and then al-sa'i.
No.
Try
Yeah.
ilm should always be in order, inshallah. Right,
Okay,
Ammar,
inshallah.
different types of nusuk. Wait, speak a bit louder, I can't hear you. التمتع قارن إفراد. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the definition? Speak a bit louder, I can't hear you.
For tamattu', and a person within does Umrah within the miqat zamaniya in terms of the timing, and then he comes out from ihram, and then when the time for Hajj comes, he does Hajj, and then he does a sacrifice. For Qarin, a person does the Umrah and Hajj together without leaving ihram, and he does a sacrifice. And for Ifrad, a person just does Hajj by itself.
Okay, أحسنت, very good. Muhammad Khan, الواجبات of Hajj.
The wajibat of Hajj are so doing the ihram from the miqat, staying in Muzdalifah, throwing the pebbles, the jamarat, shaving or trimming your head after completion of the Hajj, and also before you leave Mecca, to do the tawaf, tawaf al-ifadah before you leave Mecca.
لا, طواف الوداع it's called.
عفوا, بارك الله فيك, طواف الوداع. نعم.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned all of them?
I think so.
Okay, طيب, right. Okay, Ammar, the mawaqi, the different types, and what are they?
And there's two types, and مواقيت زمانية and مواقيت مكانية. So in terms of place and in terms of place and in terms of time.
Okay, and what are they?
And in terms of the time, is from Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah, and Dhul Hijjah. And for the places are the 5 places: Dhul Hulayfa, Al Juf'ah, Qar Manazil, and Al Yumlam, and
يلملم.
يلملم
Yeah.
and ذات عرق.
ذات عرق is called.
ذات عرق.
ذات عرق نعم. Do you know which one's which?
And ذو الحليفة is for Medina.
Yeah.
ذات عرق is for Iraq. يلملم is for Yemen. And that's what I can remember the names.
Okay. خير. Before we carry on, I wanted to show you this. Just quickly. I mean, as you can see, it's a quick search. So, you know, but just generally wanted to show you the miqat, the mawaqit, where they are. So, no, what's up? Yeah. So you can kind of see, right? So that's Medina Zul Khalifa is there. I mean, it's not the most accurate, but Sayyid al-Kabir. That Irq, okay, this is the one I found out. This is the one that Umar radiallahu anhu added. Okay. Now, I don't know if this is more accurate, but when Shaykh Qasim, he proper showed us on Google Maps, and it was literally not like 100% in the middle, but basically it was, basically it depends how much you zoom in. And so it was literally like, maybe that's a bit further up, but it was literally like there to show it shows the fiqh of the Sahaba, how Umar radiallahu anhu chose a place which basically comes in line. If I can find a video, Sheikh Qasim, I would definitely maybe add it in the description or send it in the group, or if you get time, maybe mention it in class. But if not, do have a look at the descriptions, by the way, later of the recording and so on. I might add things. If I make a mistake, I might mention, okay, I've corrected it here, or if I've sent something, I might put it. Yeah, anyways, Dhul Halif Juhfa, Yalamlam, As-Sayyid al-Kabir. As-Sayyid al-Kabir is Qarn Manazil. Qarn Manazil. Nowadays they call it As-Sayyid al-Kabir. Qarn Manazil. Yeah. So obviously those who come from Iraq, instead of them having to go there, Umar radiallahu anhu placed it there. If you're coming from a place where there's no miqat, then it's not a condition that you have to go to the miqat. You do ijtihad and make sure that you make your ihram from before. So that's why Umar radiallahu anhu, from his ijtihad, he placed it there to make it easier for the people. Right? As you can see, if you go like into Jeddah and so on, the ulama mentioned that you're inside. I don't know, like I said, I don't know exactly how accurate this picture is. But this should give you a general idea of the mawaqit, a general idea of the mawaqit and where they are. Now, okay, then after that we took the mustahabbat. طيب, for the sake of time, we'll skip over them for now. طيب, we're going to start now the prohibitions during ihram. They are 9. So removing hair from anywhere in the body or the head, whether it's your pubic hair, whether it's armpit hair, whether it's anywhere or your hair on the head, you can't take off that hair. It's not permissible. It's good, it's recommended to do it and sunnah to do it before putting on the ihram, but once you're in the state of ihram, no. Clipping the nails likewise. Covering the head for men with something attached to it. So you can't cover your head. Something attached to your clothing, if you got a hood, for example, then you can't cover your head. As for maybe standing in some shade, as for having, it's too hot and you're walking, you put a bag over the head, that's fine. No one wears a bag, right? So that doesn't break it. So that's fine. Wearing clothes which take the form of any body part. Okay, so the ihram, normally we wear the two, just pieces of cloth, right? We just we tie it over. You're not allowed to wear anything which has been stitched, ready for a person to wear. So it's not got like a hole for an arm to put in or for your leg to go in, anything like that. So as it says, wearing clothes that take which take the form of any body part, that's not allowed. And what we include is wearing the face veil and gloves for women. Women are not allowed to wear the face veil or gloves. Okay. However, some Sahabiyat used to do is that they would cover their face, if they wanted to cover their face with, so what they're already wearing, they would just get the excess part of that cloth and use that to cover their face. more what they would actually do is that the extra parts from the front, they'll just let it come down. They'll just let it come down like that. So that's what they used to do. If no man was around them, then they would uncover their face. But if they're in a place where a man could see them, then you can cover your face like that. Also putting anything that has smell on it, any atar or tayyib or anything like that. Killing animals living on earth and hunting, you're not allowed to hunt. Getting married or marrying someone off. So you're not allowed to marry, nor are you allowed to marry somebody else off either. With intercourse or touching the wife with the desire. If one does any of the above forgetfully, offer ignorance or forcefully, then there is nothing upon him or her, except for the one who killed an animal has to offer sacrifice. After doing it intentionally, then the prohibitions are divided into 4. So we can summarize these 9, but rather you should maybe number them as we're going along. So it might be easier to remember. But we can split all of these 9 into 4. Like these rulings can be split into 4. The first is that if you do, there's no sacrifice. There's no fidya upon you. There's no fidya upon you. There's no sacrifice or anything like that. That's for doing nikah or touching the wife with desire. And there's nothing upon that person apart from tawbah. And touching the wife as long as they do not ejaculate. The second is the sacrifice is the same. So when you sacrifice, your expiation is that you have to sacrifice the same animal that you basically killed, and that's only one type, which is killing animals. So if you fall into this mahdur, this prohibition, then your fidya, your expiation, is that you have to make a sacrifice similar to what you have killed, killed. Nowadays nobody does it, so you don't have to worry about it too much. Okay. The third is where you have to give a severe expiation. Fidya mughallada. This is where if you have intercourse. The one who has intercourse before freeing oneself from the first ihram, we're going to talk about it. In Hajj, you free yourself from ihram in 2 stages. If you do it before the first one, then your Hajj is incomplete. And you have to Hajj again, and you have to also give a sacrifice. You have to do the whole Hajj again and also do a sacrifice, and also you have to complete the Hajj as well. This Hajj you have to complete, even though it won't count for you, you have to complete it. Yeah, you complete the Hajj. And then the fourth one is expiation of offense. It's called fidya to adha. This is the rest. So apart from these 3 or 4, then the rest is you fidya to adha, which is a choice, either fasting 3 days or feeding 6 poor people, each and a half a sa', or slaughter a sheep whose meat is distributed to people of Makkah. So this sacrifice is done within Makkah and then given out to those within Makkah. And that's an ayah for fidyatun min siyamin or sadaqatin or nusuk. Nusuk yani dhabh. So these are the 9 things which are prohibited during ihram, whether it's you can't do these for Umrah as well. Obviously, so some of the rulings might slightly differ because Umrah is not, there's no like to tahallul for it, but generally these are the same as Umrah as well. That's why it's called a prohibition during ihram and not just during Hajj or it includes Umrah as well. There is an issue which is there's 2 types of dam. This is called dam. There's one for leaving off a wajib. If you leave off a wajib, you have to give a dam. And if you fall into any of the prohibitions, then you have to give a dam. And we've talked about the explaining. We explained them. Yeah. Is there a difference between the 2? So if somebody says, okay, if you missed that wajib, you have to give a dam, or you've done this prohibition, you have to give a dam. Is there a difference between the 2? The answer is yes. And this is, if you don't know this, then you can't give fatwa in Hajj. It's a big deficiency. It's something that a lot of students, they maybe mix up. And the difference is that if you miss a wajib, then you have no choice except to sacrifice. If you miss a wajib, then you have to sacrifice. Whereas If you miss a prohibition, then we come back to these 4 rulings. Majority of the time, you have a choice between fasting 3 days or feeding 6 people or giving a sacrifice. Some people think that if you miss a wajib, then you can fast 3 days or you can feed 6 people. La. You miss a wajib, then you've only got sacrifice. Now, so this is regarding the prohibitions during ihram. Now we have the names of the days of Hajj. Then the 8th day is known as Yom Tarwiyah. The 9th day is the day of Arafah. The 10th is the day of Eid or the day of sacrifice, okay, because you sacrifice on that day. Then it's called the day of Qir. Then the first day of Nafar and the second day of Nafar. That's what these days are called. And 11, 12, and 13 are also known as the days of Tashriq, the days of Tashriq. The day of gathering is the day of Eid, 10th day. It is called such since the people would gather after they stay in Arafah. The people of Mecca before Islam would not go to Arafah. That was the difference. Okay, hence why it's also known as Laylatul Al-Jam'. There is one issue that I want to talk about. I'll add it here. It will come again later. But it's good to add it here, which is that on this day, there's a number of actions that a person has to do. On the 10th day, the day of Eid, there's a number of actions that a person has to do, right? There's 4 things. Now, the ordering of them, sometimes people, they forget. The Shaykh Haytham, I heard him mention an easy way of how a person can memorize them. And that is by memorizing this word, Ran Hat, right? 4 letters. Now, if you know Arabic, it's not easy. English might not make as much sense, but it's an easy way of remembering it. Ran Hat, basically, we start off with the Ra. Ra means Rami. Rami is stoning the Jamarat. Okay, that's the first thing you do is you stone them. Then the Noon after that is Nahr. Nahr means sacrifice. Then you sacrifice after that. After you do the stoning, you go and sacrifice. And then Ha. Ha is Halq. Halq means to shave your head. Now, obviously, it's permissible to shorten it as well, but it's better to do Halq, basically go bald. And, realistic speaking, if you've gone all that way for Hajj, you rather just go for bald, right? That's not something that you'll be able to do again anytime soon. And the Prophet made dua 3 times for the one who completely shaves his head and once for the one who just shortens it. Okay, and if you do shorten it, don't listen to what some people say that you do a third here. You shorten it from everywhere. And that was the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's what the Maliki and the Hanabila say as well. So the third thing is halq, which means to shave. You can go bald with a razor, or you can. It's permissible to taqsir, which is just to shorten. And ta is tawaf. And ta is tawaf. So you do rami, stoning. Then you nahr, which is another word for slaughtering, and then you do ha, which is halq, and then you do tawaf. Now, this is the best. If you're not able to do it in that order, then there's no issue of switching up the order. Okay, doing one before the other, there's no issue in that, bismillah. But the best, the sunnah, what is most complete, is following this order. So this happens on the 10th day. Now, the best probably to write it there. Run help. Even me, I'll just write it there. Now, tawaf is a tawaf of ziyarah, tawaf al-ifada, as we called it. Yeah. And the last thing for today's lesson, inshallah, from the book anyway, is the 5 places to supplicate in Hajj. These were mentioned by Ibn Qayyim. These are 5 places where a person should do Hajj. In Arafah, this is probably the most important. Arafah, Dhuhr to sunset. In Muzdalifah after Fajr prayer until almost sunrise. After throwing pebbles on the small and middle rock. So the Jamarat, the translate as rock, there are 3 of them. There are 3 of them. Obviously, on the day of Eid, you only do it to the big one. It's not big as in it's bigger itself. It's just that's what it's called. But after the day of Eid, you do the others as well. So after the small and middle, during Tawaf, while standing on Safa and Marwa, likewise walking between them. So during Safa and Marwa. Try to learn all of that, inshallah. Next lesson, we'll read the description of Hajj mentioned by Ibn Uthaymeen, rahimahullah. So tomorrow tomorrow, inshallah. The lesson generally we should be at 6:45, unless something happens and I can't make it today. I was traveling and so on. I will try my best to let you know as soon as I can. Okay, but now we'll read this inshallah, and then if needed, we go through a diagram of how to do Hajj. The reality is that even if you study Hajj, you don't 100% fully understand it unless you do it. And in fact, many ulama say that, like Ibn Hazm, when he was a Sa'i going from Safa to Marwa, he would say going from Safa to Marwa and then coming back, that's one. So you got to do that 7 times. Safa, Marwa, that's one. Back 2. And that's really, really long. That would take you like 2 hours, okay? That's difficult. Many other ulama say that. That's Ibn Hazm never did Hajj or Umrah. Yeah, never came Makkah. Allah didn't allow him. So if he had come, he would have realized that that's not the case. The majority of ulama would say that is from Safa to Marwa is 1, back is 2, then 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7. You finish at Marwa. Okay. So unless you go, you don't fully 100% understand it. But it's still important to learn them, inshallah. La Tawaf Ziyara is 1 Tawaf. Tawaf Ziyara is 1 Tawaf, the one that you do after being on Arafah. Now, okay, then we have before leaving, you have Tawafu al-Wada'. Now, Tawaf al-Wada' is wajib, but it's not from the it's wajib. It's wajib, okay? So you make sure you do that before leaving, right? But that's when you leave Makkah. In between, if you do Tawaf, it's not obligatory to do any Tawaf. No. No, okay. Maybe one thing which obviously we're not talking about here is Umrah. I'll quickly, for those maybe that haven't done Umrah, I'll quickly explain to you how to do Umrah, okay? Now, the pillars of Umrah are, the pillars of Umrah are, let's go to my camera off, just was explaining this, okay? The pillars of Umrah are 4. Ihram, Tawaf, Sa'i, and Halq or Taqsir. So the Ihram, and then doing Tawaf, and then doing Sa'i, meaning going between Safa and Marwa, and then a Taqsir, which is Halq, so shaving the head, or a Taqsir, shortening it. Okay. Now, Umrah is not different to Hajj in the sense that Umrah is 2 hours and you finish. Hajj, as you can see, is at least 5 days. Okay. So what you would do, right? You start with your miqat, right? You go to your miqat, you do the ihram, and then you enter Makkah. And I'm just gonna summarize it for you. There are other ad'iyah that you should make. So obviously, why is it going from the miqat until entering Makkah? Then you should say the talbiyah. لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك. And then you go and you do tawaf. Okay, so the Kaaba is black, so let me use black. Okay, here we have the Kaaba. It's a beautiful drawing of the Kaaba. Okay, now you come and you do tawaf around the Kaaba. How many times? You do it 7 times. Okay, now you start over here. So basically, let's say here is a black stone, right? Here is a black stone. This is where you go to start. You start at a black stone doing tawaf. Okay, and this what I'm mentioning to you now is the same as even if you're doing tawaf during Hajj. Now, when you enter, obviously it's gonna be nowadays it's gonna be packed, right? How do you know where the black stone is? They made it easier for you. They put like green lights, so you literally see like green light over here. So you just make sure you go and you're in line with the green light, and you know that that's where you are. With the black stone, you can generally tell where the black stone is. You can see it, but if you know where exactly is it here, there, as soon as you're in line with the green light, then you can do it. And it's not obligatory to do tawaf right next to the Kaaba. You can't do on the other floors and stuff. Obviously, that would take you a lot longer. So the green light is also over on the other floors, the first floor, which is a lot further away. But it helps you to the green light helps you. You know what to stop. So then you go around the Kaaba. Okay, you go around, and whilst each of the 7 tawafs, you can say whatever you want. Okay, it's narrated some sort of maybe just talk. Okay, so it is permissible to talk, right? But obviously the best is to use that time to make dua, especially dua. If you want to say Quran, you can as well, but maybe dua is preferred in this case. And no, but until you get to the Yemeni corner is this corner over here. It's the one just before. It's the one just before uh, the black stone. It's called the Yemeni corner because it faces basically Yemen, I think. Wallahu alam. And I've done yellow because what does the Saudi government have done is that on the Kaaba, the Kiswa, at that corner they've actually placed like a gold design. I can't remember if something written is there, but it's a yellow or golden design. That's basically an indication that this is the Yemeni corner. So it's from the Yemeni corner till the black stone. You recite a dua, ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة. That's what you keep repeating, okay? So you don't read the other du'as. It's just sunnah to recite ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة till the end of the dua at that time. By the way, another way to remember where the Yemeni corner is, that nowadays it's literally in line with, as you probably guess from my beautiful drawing, the clock tower. Okay, so it's literally in line with that. It just works out. So to be honest, that's one way I remember. If I see it, I'm like, oh, right, I'm close. So anyways, you did this 7 times. The men, they the first 3 ashwat, one round is known as, in Arabic, shawtun. It's known as shawtun, and the plural is ashwat. Okay, ashwat. Okay, so the first 3 ashwat, you should try to walk faster. Okay, like quick walking, and then the other 4, you walk normally. Now, if there's a lot of rush and you could harm people by barging into them and so on, then leave it. Don't harm the people. Don't harm the Muslims, especially during Umrah. Okay, then you walk normally. That happens sometimes, especially on the weekends or on holiday season. Yeah, then it's literally packed out. So then, we will say just walk normally. Otherwise, you're just gonna cause issues, right? Okay. Anyways, once you finish, then so you're doing your 7, right? You start off, and you start off like, if you can kiss the black stone, kiss it, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and you start. If you can't, you touch it with a stick, and if you can't, then from far, you can just raise your hand and indicate towards it and say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and then you go around. Every time you go past the black stone, you say Allahu Akbar. After you finish all 7, right? And try to count. If you're with somebody, just double check with them so you don't forget. One way I remember is that I generally, for each tawaf, I make a certain dua, where people have different ways. Maybe the first one is just praising Allah, the second one is just selling salutations upon the Prophet, the third is making dua for maybe parents, fourth is for teachers, then fifth is for family, and then seventh is for myself. Or people have different ways of doing it. So that's one way. If you remember, okay, which du'as you have made, then then it's easy to remember as well. But if you do have shak, then what you do, you go to the lowest number. So if you don't know if you're 6th or 7th, then you stay upon what you're certain, which is the lowest number. Okay, and then once you've done, then it's then you sunnah to pray behind Maqam Ibrahim. Maqam Ibrahim, no, not green. That is actually the orange. Maqam Ibrahim is basically over here. That's where the footprint of Ibrahim alayhi salam is. So it's in this little thing over here. You can literally, it sticks out. And what you do is that you pray behind it. You pray behind it. Right, you pray behind it. Let me complete my drawing, by the way. So obviously, this is the Hijr thing. The Hatim. Okay, this is initially it was part of the Kaaba, but the Quraysh rebuilt the Kaaba. They didn't rebuild this part. So if you go in there, you can't pray inside because it's especially obligatory prayers, because you're inside the Kaaba, you have to be facing the Kaaba. But Nawafil, you can pray there. Anyways, also the door of the Kaaba is here. If you can, try to make dua in between the two. That's a place where dua is accepted, between the black stone and the door, but it's very difficult to get there. Anyways, so I was saying, Maqam Ibrahim, you pray 2 rak'at behind it. If you can't pray here, like it's packed out, then you can pray anywhere. It's not that it has to be directly behind. Try your best, obviously. Once you've prayed your 2 rak'at, then you come and you go do you go and you do your sa'i. And sa'i is basically Safa Marwa. It's literally like over here. So, normally if you start at the clock tower, that's where your hotel is. You come in, you literally just walk in, then you go 7 rounds, you pray behind here, and then it's like you just go along. Yeah? So Safa and Marwa. So Safa will be over here, and Marwa is over there. Okay. That S is a bit long. Okay. Now obviously it depends, the government how or the officials, which sometimes they block paths because of traffic control basically. But anyways, you try your best. You come however whichever way, and you make yourself to make your way to Safa. Now when you get to Safa, once you get here, you should recite the ayah inna Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. Okay. Just that part. You don't need to recite the whole ayah. And then once you get here, you start. Now when you start, you make a dua. And the dua, you start off by saying La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, أنجز وعده ونصر عبده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. نعم. But if you get a book even like Fortress of Muslim, that's a very good book to have actually. It has all the du'as there. It has all the ad'iyah for Hajj and Umrah in there as well. Anyways, you make the du'a, then you make du'a for yourself as well, and you do that 3 times, and then you start walking to Marwa. Okay, then once you're at Marwa, then again you make that same du'a 3 times, and then you come back, and you go back and forth with Safa and Marwa 7 times. You will start at Safa, and you'll end at Marwa if you do 7 correctly. Okay, you'll end at the opposite one. So look, if you start Safa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, I finished at Marwa. In Marwa, there's also a green area. I'm not sure, I can't remember right now. Is it close to Safa or Marwa? I think it might be close to Safa. Okay, some green lights. Those green lights is the area where Hajar alayhi salam, she would, I'm sure you know the story of Safa and Marwa. That's where Hajar, the wife of Ibrahim alayhi salam, was running between Safa and Marwa trying to look for water for Ismail, right? So it was 2 mountains. This is the area that where she would run. And some say she would run here because it was hotter there, so she wanted to get through it faster. So if you're here, then try to run between the green area. If you're with like women, or you're with women, don't run. But if you're with your old parents or somebody disabled or something like that, and when you can't leave them, then of course you don't have to run. You don't have to run. So you can start either place. No. You start at Safa. You start at Safa, and you'll end in the opposite place, Marwa. You start at Safa. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then once you've finished from Marwa, and the 7th one, at the 7th one, you don't need to make dua, and you can just leave and find a barber. There's barbers at the bottom of the clock tower. There used to be barbers down here. I don't know if they still are outside of Marwa, the gate of Marwa. And to get back, if you need to get back to the clock tower, you can either go around like that. There's a way that they've made, or you can go through the masjid. No. But yeah, so that's basically how you do Umrah, and that should all take you, 2 hours. If it's empty, the tawaf area, then it could be, the tawaf could take you 20 minutes, to be honest. Safa and Marwa generally just take an hour. Yeah, so that's how you would do it. That's your Umrah. And your Umrah is complete. Then after that, you can go have your shower. After you cut your hair, go have your shower, freshen up, all of that. Well, to be honest, generally what I do is that, because I you normally get a haircut from the bottom of the clock tower, going to the hotel and coming back to eat would be difficult, so I just end up eating in the clock tower. And then after that, I'll go to the hotel and then relax, whatever I need to do. Okay, so that's how you do Umrah. Are there any questions regarding that? Maybe on YouTube, maybe you'll find, especially even with Hajj, you might find, better quality videos on how to do Hajj and Umrah. They might show you. Obviously, we're learning the fiqh rulings, so make sure you memorize the fiqh rulings, and then step for step guide. If you've not done it, maybe you'll find something. Now. يسوي إسلام كم جزاك الله خيرا آمين وياك. Yeah, that's basically how you do Umrah. Okay, so if I do it all over again, just one quick time to see if you've understood. You start the miqat, then you come to the Kaaba. You do your tawaf 7 times, and then you go to Safa and Marwa, and you get a haircut, and that's it. Yeah. Again, in Safa and Marwa, there's nothing specific to be read. Just be making dua. The minimum that woman has to cut is about a centimeter. Okay, she cuts like a centimeter. Like you gather all your hair together, and it's from the bottom, cut a centimeter. That's why if you don't go, maybe carry scissors with you. So you can, as soon as you finish, you can just, cut their hair, or back in the hotel if you want to. So it's up to you. I mean, yeah. Is there more reward if you cut more? For men, yeah. For they shave. For women, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's something you could look into. A lot. I don't know, because women generally don't have short head, so you can't really say shorter. Yeah, well, I don't know. Good question though. نعم. طيب, we'll stop here inshallah. So the Umrah thing is a extra benefit. Make sure you guys know the rulings of Hajj, and tomorrow inshallah we'll just read and I'll annotate on the whole sifa of how to do Hajj by Ibn Uthaymin rahimahullah. He basically tells you what to do from A to Z. Yeah. And then then so tomorrow no lesson. Next week inshallah there'll be an exam for Hajj in the revision session. And after continue with the rest of the book. I think next week we should be okay. The week after I might be starting another lesson on Monday, so we might not be able to do Mondays. But inshallah we'll let you know. The book, I really, you can see how amazing what book this is. Yeah. Inshallah I want to finish it as soon as we can, bismillah. Inshallah this month. And if you can solidify what is in this book, then this is a book that should be taught everywhere. As much as you can, and obviously the details, you can go into more detail, you can go into less detail, it's all, the book's amazing, alhamdulillah. May Allah have mercy upon the author. Now this is the Arabic version. So the Arabic version, even the English translation is translated in English as a book. I think Sheikh Haytham Sarhan, he doesn't sell his books, so it's hard to get a hold of. So PDFs are in the group, right? The actual book, I don't know. It's difficult. You know what I mean? Sometimes I only get it if I message the Sheikh and he tells me, all right, I've sent it over to this person in the UK, get it off him or something. Then I get it. But Durus Muhimma, he doesn't send as much. He sends Usul Thalatha a lot. Durus Muhimma, not a lot. I mean, I got this from the Sheikh himself. So it's difficult to find. I have heard that he's placed a lot of his books. If you go to Medina, Gate 37, you can get a lot of Sheikh Haytham books. Just maybe I think yesterday they put them all there. But I don't know exactly what you can find in there. But okay, we'll stop here inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa